Hi, welcome to Virtual CB1A. This is Miss Rena, and for today's video discussion, we're going to talk about the trigonometric function values of some special angles. These are the 30-degree, 60-degree, and 45-degree angles. So as you can see here, I have prepared two different triangles. We're going to make use of these triangles in finding the trigonometric function values of 30-degree, 60-degree, and 45-degree angles, even if you don't have the measurement for each side. So let's start. So while we are waiting for the next slide to load, I want you to recall the idea of similar triangles. So from our previous video discussion, we tackled that if you have a certain angle, so the trigonometric function value of that angle will never change regardless of what the measurements of the sides are. So, balikan natin tong isang example na to. If say for example, you have this right triangle, and the measurements are 3, 4, and 5. And then you have a triangle similar to it, but with higher dimensions. So this is 6, 8, and 10. And then this is your angle A, and this is your angle B. This is your angle D, and this is your angle E. So the measurement or the trigonometric function value of A is equal to the trigonometric function value of D. So sine A is equal to sine D, and sine B is equal to sine E. And all the other trigonometric functions will follow the same rule. So these two triangles, ABC at saka DEF, they are similar. So if you are going to check for it, sine A is equal to 4 over 5, while sine D is equal to 8 over 10. So 4 over 5 is equal to 8 over 10. So the simplest form of 8 over 10 is 4 over 5. So sabi natin kanina, we are going to find the trigonometric function values of some special angles, 30, 60, and 45. So dito, walang measurement yung bawat side ng ating triangle. But is it possible to find the trigonometric function values of 30? So first, let's define the measurements of each angle. So since ito ay equilateral triangle, aside from having the lateral sides congruent, the angles are also congruent. Now please recall the sum of interior angles in a triangle. So the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So kung meron ka ditong angle A, angle B, and angle C, angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. So the measurement of angle A plus the measurement of angle B plus the measurement of angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Since pare-parehas ng measurement itong tatlo, all we have to do to find the measurement of each angle is to divide 180 by 3. So i-divide lang natin si 180 by 3. 180 divided by 3 is equal to 60 degrees. So kada isa sa kanila ay 60 ang measurement. Dito ko na lang sa labas ilalagay. Kasi gagamitin ko tong interior part maya-maya. So we have the measurement of each angle is equal to 60 degrees. Now, paano natin mahahanap si 30 degrees? So we are going to make use of half of this equilateral triangle. If you draw an angle bisector from B going to its opposite side, AC, you will get the perpendicular bisector. So kapag meron tayong equilateral triangle, nagko-coincide yun lahat. So yung midpoint ng opposite side ay magiging endpoint of your perpendicular bisector and angle bisector as well. So pag sinabi natin angle bisector, hahatiin niya yung angle mo into two congruent parts. So kung ito ay 60 kanina, this will now be equal to 30 degrees. And then, let's call this point E. Ayan. Ay, hindi pala. Wala pa pala tayong D. Ayan, point D. Tawagin natin tong point D. So, the length of BD is unknown. And AD is equal to half of AC. So, meron tayong bagong triangle ngayon. Ito siya, ABD. Drawing ko lang siya dito para hindi kayo malito. Maya-maya buburahin ko siya. So, ito yung half nung equilateral triangle natin. Meron tayong 30, 60, and of course, this is 90 degrees. So, this is 90. This is a right angle. Now, let's proceed with finding the trigonometric function values of each of the acute angles. Meron tayong dalawa, 30 and 60. So, what do we need when finding the trigonometric function values of an angle? So, kailangan natin ng opposite side at saka adjacent side, diba? So, focus muna tayo sa isang angle. So, kunin muna natin yung trigonometric function values of 30 degrees. So, kung si 30 degrees ang angle under consideration natin, then we are going to have the parts opposite, adjacent, at saka hypotenuse. So, hanapin natin yung tatlong measurement relative to 30 degrees. So, ang kanyang, ito yung 30 natin ha, ang kanyang opposite is AD. Ang kanyang adjacent is AB. Ay, sorry. Ang kanyang adjacent ay AD. Ang kanyang opposite ay AD. Ang kanyang adjacent ay BD. Yan, nalito siya. At ang kanyang hypotenuse ay AB. Okay, again, the opposite is AD, the adjacent is BD, and the hypotenuse is AB. Ngayon, hanapin natin yung mga values nila. So, let's consider the simplest possible measurement for this triangle. Di ba sabi natin kanina, basta similar triangles, para-parehas ang trigonometric function value. So, para madali, i-consider natin that this is an equilateral triangle with sides equal to 1 unit. Kung ito ay 1 unit, ito ay 1 unit, ito ay syempre half unit na lang. So, this is 1/2. So, if AD is half of AC, you are going to have 1/2. If the adjacent is BD, so hindi pa natin siya alam, mamaya natin siya hanapin. So, ang hypotenuse niya is AB, then it is equal to 1. Ngayon, hanapin natin yung measurement ni BD. So, BD is a side in a right triangle. We can make use of the Pythagorean theorem in finding the measurement of BD. So, sabi natin sa Pythagorean, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So, meron tayong a squared, which is BD. So, square natin si BD. Plus, meron tayong AD. Square natin si AD. Which is equal to side AB. Yan. Square natin si AB. Now, let's substitute the values. BD is unknown. So, BD squared is unknown. AD. Si AD ay 1/2. So, 1/2 squared. And finally, si AB ay 1. Now, let's get the value of BD squared. It is equal to 1 squared minus 1/2 squared. Now, simplify natin. BD squared is equal to 1 minus the square of 1/2 is 1/4. Kasi 1/2 times 1/2 is equal to 1 over 1 times 1 over 2 times 2, which is 1/4. Please remember the elementary rules in algebra. Ay, ba't ito may squared pa? Yan. So, meron na tayong 1 minus 1/4. We have BD squared is equal to 3 over 4. To get the measurement of BD, syempre, kunin lang natin yung square root nung both sides. We are going to have the length of BD is equal to the square root of 3 over 2. So, ito ay square root of 3 over 2. Ayan. Ito siya. Yun. So, I hope that was clear because I am going to erase this solution. Pwede nyo naman siyang balikan kasi video naman to pag nalilito kayo. Ayan. Now that we already know the measurement of each side, opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, pwede na tayo kumuha ng trigonometric function values. Unahin natin ang sine. What is sine? 30 degrees. Sine 30 degrees is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So, the opposite over the hypotenuse is 1/2 over 1 or simply one-half. Next, let's go to the cosine. Cosine 30 degrees is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is equal to the square root of 3 over 2 over 1. Because the adjacent side is square root of 3 over 2 and the hypotenuse is 1. Or simply, square root of 3 over 2. Now, let's continue with the tangent. Tangent 30 degrees is equal to the opposite over adjacent. So, pakirecall na ang rules natin when solving for fractions. Meron tayo dito opposite, which is 1/2. Divided by the adjacent, which is square root of 3 over 2. Or, equal din siya sa, pag magdi-divide tayo ng fraction, we actually multiply it by the reciprocal of the denominator or the divisor. So, ang reciprocal ng square root of 3 over 2 ay 2 over the square root of 3, which is equal to 2 over 2 square root of 3. So, tanggalin na natin sila because 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. You will be left with 1 over the square root of 3. Are we done? Not yet. Why? Because we have to rationalize the denominator. 1 over square root of 3 is not at its simplest form yet because we have to remove the radical in the denominator. How can we do that? So multiply 1 over square root of 3 by a factor of 1, square root of 3, square root of 3. Square root of 3 over square root of 3 is 1. So we have square root of 3 over 3. Because square root of 3 times square root of 3 is equal to the square root of 9. And square root of 9 is equal to the square root of 3. Now, let's check if we are going to end up with the same ratios or the same values kung gagamitan na natin siya ng calculator. Just wait a moment. I will prepare my calculator. Okay, now we already have a calculator on this side. So let's check for the trigonometric function values of the following angles. Ay, isang angle lang pala muna. 30 lang muna. So make sure that your scientific calculator is in degree mode. If you are using Casio or Canon or any other calculator, makikita nyo dun sa taas ng screen. I don't have the app for scientific calculator yet dito sa laptop. Kasi wala akong mahanap na compatible na smooth running. But you can download an app on your phone and I will try to make a tutorial later on. And abang-abang lang din muna sa susunod na video. Pag may nahanap na ako na maayos na scientific calculator na app, uniform tayo nang gagamitin. But if you also have a scientific calculator of your own, better. So dito, sa calculator na gamit ko, you have to make sure that your number is in degree mode, or your calculator is in degree mode. Meron niyang iba pang forms. Meron tayong radian at saka gradient. So dito lang tayo sa degree muna. So kunin natin ang value ni sine 30. Sine 30 is sine. Tapos input natin yung value niya. We have 30. Ay, mali. Paano nga ba ito i-clear? Ayun. Pindutin pala muna natin si 30. Iba nga pala to. And then, pindutin natin si sine. So, sine 30, makikita nyo siya dito. Ito, itong part na to. Sine 30 is equal to 0.5. And if you reduce 1/2 into decimal, you will end up with 0.5 or 0.5. So, our answer here is correct. Let's move forward to the other one. We have cosine. So, cosine naman, ito lang siya. Yan, cosine. So, pindutin muna natin yung 30 degrees. And then, pindutin natin si cosine. So, you will end up with 0.8660. Approximately equals sa 0.8660 siya. Ngayon, tingnan natin kung tama itong square root of 3 over 2 natin dito sa kabila. Square root of 3 is 1.7320. I-divide natin siya by 2. So, 0.8660 din siya. So, our answer here for cosine 30 is correct. Square root of 3 over 2. Kung tama na kayo sa sine tsaka sa cosine, probably tatama na rin kayo kaagad sa tangent. Kasi tama kayo ng value for opposite hypotenuse, adjacent hypotenuse eh. All you have to do is to make sure that you are following the correct rules in algebra. dito na tayo, square root of 3 over 3 ang final answer natin. So, meron tayong 30 degrees. Kunin natin ang tangent. It should be 0.5774. Yan. Ang sagot natin dito ay square root of 3 over 3. Verify natin kung tama. We have square root of 3, which is 1.732051 divided by 3. So, you will end up with 0.577350. Tama yung sagot. Okay? So, I hope that was clear. This is how you find the trigonometric function values of 30 degrees even without the use of the calculator. All you have to do is to remember that 30 degree is derived from half of an equilateral triangle. Doon na tayo sa kabila. Doon naman tayo sa 60 degrees. Lipat tayo ng slide. Ayan. Ito. So, dito naman tayo sa 30, tapos na tayo sa 30 degrees, dito naman tayo sa 60 degrees. Ito yung graph natin kanina. So, this is 60. This is 90. And this one here is 30 degrees. So, again, the opposite of 30 is 1/2. The adjacent of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. And our value here is 1. Yan. So, doon naman tayo sa 60. Ito naman yung hahanapin natin ngayon. 60 degrees. So, ano ang sine? 60 degrees. Ano ang cosine? 60 degrees. At ano ang tangent? 60 degrees. First, let's identify the opposite of 60, the adjacent of 60, and the hypotenuse of 60. So, the side opposite 60 is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Adjacent 60 is 1/2. And finally, the hypotenuse, di siya magbabago. It is still equal to 1. So, sine 60 is opposite over the hypotenuse. You have square root of 3 over 2 divided by 1. Or simply, square root of 3 over 2. How about cosine 60? So, cosine 60 is adjacent, that is 1/2, divided by the hypotenuse. So, 1/2 divided by 1 is 1/2. How about tangent? So, for tangent 60 degrees, that is equal to the opposite, square root of 3 over 2, divided by the adjacent, which is 1/2. So, opposite, square root of 3 over 2, adjacent, 1/2. Let's simplify. This is going to be square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. So, kung meron kang division of fractions, all you have to do is to change the operation into multiplication and multiply it by the reciprocal of your divisor. So, ang divisor natin is 1/2. The reciprocal is 2 over 1. So, this is 2 square root of 3 over 2. Or since 2 divided by 2 is just 1, you will end up with simply square root of 3. Ngayon, check natin kung tama yung mga values natin dito. Sine 60, cosine 60, and tangent 60. So, 60 ang angle. Kunin natin ang kanyang sine. We have 0.86, 60, 25, and so on. Ngayon, check natin kung ano yung value ni square root of 3 over 2. So, we have square root, Square root of 3 1.7321 divided by 2. Ayun. So, para silang 0.8660. Ay, teka. Parang may mali ako. Square root of 3 muna. 3 square root 1.73 divided by 2. Ayun. 0.8660. Yan. So, now, let's go to... Ano yung mali kanina? Ulitin nga natin. 60 sine. 8660 talaga. Yan. Move tayo dun sa kabila. Square root of 3. 1.732051 divided by 2. Ayun, parehas. 0.8660, 0.8660. Let's move forward to cosine 60. 1/2 daw siya, so dapat ang lalabas ay 0.5. So, 60 cosine, you will end up with 0.5. Now, let's move forward with tangent 60. Dapat square root of 3 lang yung lalabas. Ang value ng square root of 3 natin is 1. Ano ba to? Ba't nag-divided by 2 siya? Square root of 3. Ayun. So, 1.732050. Yan. Dapat ito yung lalabas na value for tangent 60. 60 tangent, ayan, tama, 1.732051. So, that is how you find the trigonometric function values of 30 and 60 degrees. Though, later chapter pa natin dapat ito i-discuss. Papasadahan ko na ng mabilis. So, we have some rules when dealing with complementary angles. So, if you will take notice, 30 and 60 degrees are complementary angles. So, ano ang trigonometric function values ng complementary angles? So, suppose A and B, yung dalawang angle, A and B are complementary. Sine A will be equal to cosine A. Tapos, sine B will be equal to cosine B. So, ganyan yung rule natin for finding the trigonometric function values of complementary angles. Lagi yung ganyan. So, if A and B are complementary, the sine of the first is equal to the cosine of the second angle. And the sine of the second angle, B, is equal to the cosine of the first angle. So, balikan natin yung 60 at saka yung 30 kanina. So, si sine 60 ay square root of 3 over 2. Dapat equal to sa cosine 30. Balikan natin yung isang slide kanina. Cosine 30. Ayun. Cosine 30 is square root of 3 over 2. Sine 60 is square root of 3 over 2. Ngayon, si cosine 60, 1/2. Dapat equal to sa sine 30. Si sine 30 is 1/2 din. Okay? So, I hope that was clear. Ay, meron pa pala. Si tangent 30 at saka si tangent 60. So, when you are dealing with the tangent of two complementary angles, so the tangent of the first angle is equal to the reciprocal of the tangent of the second angle. So, kung meron ka ditong tangent A, equal yan sa 1 over tangent B. And vice versa. Tangent B is equal to 1 over tangent A. I hope that was clear. Move na tayo dun sa last na problem. So, the trigonometric function values of the 45-degree angle. Again, meron tayong isosceles right triangle dito. So, ito yung 90 degrees. Ito yung right angle. If this is isosceles, then it has two congruent legs. Tapos, yung non-congruent na leg or non-congruent na side, that is the base. Ba't ang dami kong ganyan? So, this is the base. And then, itong dalawang angle na to, since equal yung dalawang legs, the base angles will be congruent as well. Since this is 90, we are going to divide the remaining 90 into 2. So, meron kang 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Since the sum of all the interior angles should be equal to 180 degrees. I-follow natin yung kaninang example natin. What if you are going to have an angle na 45 pero unknown yung opposite side at saka yung adjacent side. So here, sa example na to, move ko lang dito para may space ako. Saglit lang. Ay, naglalag na siya. I will just move it into this part. Ayan. So what if the opposite of 90 is 1? What will be the measurement of these two legs? Okay, let's find out. So since right triangle siya, pwede ulit natin gamitin si a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Pangalanan natin yung angle natin. This is A, this is B, this is C. So, ang dalawang legs niya is AC, AC, and BC. So, AC squared plus BC squared is equal to AB squared. Substitute natin yung values. Unknown si AC, unknown din si BC. So, tawagin natin silang X. Pagka hindi natin kilala, tawagin natin X. Pag unknown, tawagin natin X. Kaya nga sila X kasi hindi natin sila kilala. So, X, si AC, so this is X squared. Si BC ay X din. So, this is also X squared. Tapos si AB ay 1. So, this is 1 squared. So, meron kang X squared. Meron kang 2X squared is equal to 1. Because 1 squared is equal to 1. Now, let's find the value of X using multiplication property of equality. Divide both sides by 2. So, 2 divided by 2 is 1. You will end up with just X squared. X squared is equal to 1/2. Get the value of X. Square root of X squared. Square root of 1/2. X is equal to the square root of 1 over the square root of 2. Or that is simply 1 over the square root of 2. But we have to rationalize the denominator. So let's multiply both the numerator and denominator by square root of 2. You will end up with 1 times square root of 2 is square root of 2. Square root of 2 over square root of 2 is square root of 4 or 2. So the two sides are square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. So both of them are square root of 2 over 2 ang value. Ngayon, maghanap na tayo ng sine, cosine, at tangent ng 45-degree angle. Burahin ko na to. Pwede nyo siyang balikan anytime kasi video naman to. If you have any questions, kindly send me an email. O kaya, idirekta nyo. Pwede kayo mag-comment dito sa video. O kaya, send kayo ng comment dun sa Google Classroom natin. Mag-post kayo sa Google Classroom natin. Pwede rin. Kunin natin si sine 45, cosine 45, at tangent 45. Of course, may degree. Ano ba ang kanyang opposite side? Ano ba ang kanyang adjacent side? At ano ba ang kanyang hypotenuse? So, ang opposite side ng 45 ay square root of 2 over 2. Kahit aling 45-degree angle yung tingnan mo, parehas lang yung square root of 2 over 2. Ang adjacent niya, syempre, square root of 2 over 2 rin. And ang hypotenuse niya, of course, is the longest side opposite the 90-degree angle, which is 1. So, ang dali lang nito, sine 45 is square root of 2 over 2 divided by 1, which is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. Cosine 45 is square root of 2 over 2 divided by 1, which is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. And tangent 45 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So, square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2, which is equal to 1. Ayan. So, our values are square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, and 1. Check natin sa calculator. So, unahin natin yung value nitong square root of 2 over 2. Ano ba ang square root of 2? Over 2. So, approximately 0. Ano nga yun? 70-71. Hindi ko pala ito nagawa kanina dun sa kabilang mga sheets. May calculator naman kayo, marunong naman kayo mag-round off. But I prefer na yung exact value yung ibibigay nyo sa akin, not the decimal form. Mas gusto ko na exact yung, ako personal preference ko, mas gusto ko na exact yung answer. So, ito yung mga hinahanap ko talaga, yung ganitong mga ratios. So, verify na natin, sine 45. Press natin dito 45. And then sine. 0.70, 71. So, tama. Cosine 45. 45. Cosine. Again, 0.70, 71 din siya. So, tama. Finally, tangent 45. Yun, tangent 45 is 1. So, this is the end of our discussion for the trigonometric function values of the 30-degree, 60-degree, and 45-degree angles. So, I hope that was clear. Again, pag may tanong, huwag po mahihiya mag-send sa akin ng tanong. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye-bye!